Israel recovered the bodies of 2 hostages in Gaza this week. The married couple were both Americans who were murdered in the October 7th attack by Hamas. 56 hostages remain in captivity. This news comes as Iran and the United States may be deadlocked in negotiations over the regime's nuclear program. Here's the latest on these stories, followed by Gordon Robertson's interview with Israel's ambassador to the U.S., Yakir Leiter. Israel announced today the IDF and Shin Bet recovered the bodies of Israeli-Americans Judy Weinstein and Gadi Haggai in a special operation. Both were murdered on October 7th at Kibbutz Nir Oz. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said all the citizens of Israel extend heartfelt condolences to the families. 56 hostages remain in captivity. 20 are thought to be still alive. The U.S. vetoed a UN Security Council resolution calling for a permanent and unconditional ceasefire in the war between Israel and Hamas, but did not demand Hamas disarm or release the remaining hostages. 14 members supported the resolution.
The United States has been clear. We would not support any measure that fails to condemn Hamas and does not call for Hamas to disarm and leave Gaza.
As the Trump administration continues its attempt at a nuclear deal with Iran, Ayatollah Khamenei remains defiant about the demand to stop enriching uranium. President Trump is lashing out on Truth Social, writing, "Time is running out on Iran's decision pertaining to nuclear weapons, which must be made quickly. It is my opinion that Iran has been slow-walking their decision on this very important matter, and we will need a definitive answer in a very short period of time." Trump originally gave the negotiators 2 months to come up with a deal. That deadline expires next week. The president is also taking action in the aftermath of an attack on Jewish demonstrators in Boulder, Colorado, by issuing a travel ban and restrictions on 19 countries. 15 survivors of the attack spoke out at a vigil.
I'll say I feel perfectly safe here in Boulder. I absolutely do. I'll say I was wrong, but I was absolutely felt safe. Hey, this was not okay. It really was not okay.
At the White House, CBN News' Kelly Wright asked Caroline Leavitt what the government can do about anti-Semitism.
Can these entities and these agencies work together with the president to put out a proactive campaign to help people stop the hate?
I think the president himself has been leading on this, Kelly, and has been incredibly clear in his rhetoric that he is not going to tolerate such hate or behavior in the United States of America.
The Boulder attack followed the murders of 2 Israeli embassy employees in Washington, D.C. in May, Yaron Lashinsky and Sarah Milgram.
Well, joining us now for more on these stories is Yakir Leiter. He's Israel's ambassador to the United States, and he joins us now for more. Ambassador, it's such an honor to have you with us. In the past,
it's always an honor to be with you. Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. It just seems to be horrible what's happening right now, right here in the United States. We've seen the murder of 2 of your embassy staff. Now the attack on Boulder, and it just doesn't seem that it's safe to be Jewish and be in America. What's your message to Jewish people who are living here?
Well, first of all, I must share with you the fact that the embassy, we have a very large staff here, and we're still in PTSD after losing 2 of our employees. They were lovely people, and everybody here in the embassy felt very close to them. So it really was a horrific experience that we're still we're nursing our wounds. And then, of course, the attack in Boulder. I think it's important to realize that what we're confronting here is the after effect, the aftershocks of a year and a half of students running wild on campuses, people in the streets screaming libelous charges against Israel, against our prime minister, against our soldiers. You know, if we're guilty of genocide or war crimes or ethnic cleansing, there are going to be some crazy people who are going to take the law into their own hands and shoot people. That's what happens at the end of the day. The process of this growing anti-Semitism stops and will begin by confronting these libelous charges. We don't commit genocide. We're a people that were victims of genocide. We don't commit genocide. We're fighting a war against a very evil, cruel, and ghoulish enemy. And we have to win this war, not only for our sake, but for the sake of humanity, for the sake of civilization.
Well, why is it that the libel that's coming out of Hamas, it's an absolute lie, and it goes back to the beginning of the war. You know, right after October 7th, there was the claim that the IDF, the Air Force, had bombed a hospital in Gaza, and there was no truth to it at all. It was a rocket fired by Hamas. It didn't hit the hospital, it hit the parking lot. But that story went around the world, and now we're seeing it with Palestinians trying to get humanitarian aid. The headline was Israeli tanks killing Palestinians. Why do I mean, these are our top news outlets. I mean, we're talking BBC, we're talking New York Times, we're talking Washington Post. Why aren't they just putting editorial review, is this factually true, before they run the story?
It's absolutely insane. I mean, the story that you brought up about the hospital. So, of course, you know, for 2 days, Israel was being accused of firing into a hospital. And what does it turn out? That it was the Islamic Jihad who were firing a rocket into Israel. The rocket backfired, and it didn't kill 500 people, as it was claimed Israel did. It killed 50 people, and the Islamic Jihad was responsible for it. This is just similar to the story just a week and a half ago, where a UN official went online and said that in 48 hours, I mean, listen to this, it's just incredible. In 48 hours, 14,000 infants would die of starvation. How he came up with that number is just astounding. But 48 hours went by, nobody died of starvation, and he walked it back, except nobody heard that. Nobody heard the walk back. Everybody heard that Israel's responsible for 14,000 babies being starved in 48 hours. What is that if not a blood libel? And what they're doing by repeating this, ad nauseum, these accusations, is they're fueling the flames of the deranged among the public who are going to take a gun or a flamethrower or a knife or whatever it may be and attack people. And they have to take responsibility for their actions. Stop the blood libel, and that's the beginning of stopping the rise of anti-Semitism. You can't fight anti-Semitism in this country unless you fight the blood libel against the state of Israel and the soldiers of Israel. And I think that the Department of Justice, the State Department, are doing a fantastic job. The Special Envoy to Combat Anti-Semitism, Leo Terrell, is on top of this. He has the encouragement and the support from the President Trump, to go after these anti-Semites that are promoting this big lie. And again, when you promote this big lie about Israel being a colonialist, genocidal state, we're going to have a violence against innocent people. And the way to stop it is to confront this libelous attack on Israel.
Well, ambassadors, thank you so much for being with us. I want you to know our prayers are with you and with all the embassy staff. Our hearts go out to you. For the staff members that you have lost, may their memory be a blessing to you. I know it's such a time of grieving, but you need to know very clearly that we stand with you and we stand with Israel.
God bless you. Thank you so much for your support.